In this tutorial, we will cover some of the basic commands that you will need in AutoCAD to draw two-dimensional architectural drawings. So the first thing I want to make sure that is set correctly is my units. So I'm going to go to the big A at the top, go down to Drawing Utilities, and over to Units, and make sure that my length type is set to Architectural. I'll click OK. So the first command is line. Line is probably the one that you will use the most. So up here at the top left, I'm going to select line. And AutoCAD is very good about giving you prompts on how to walk through the various commands. Some commands have multiple steps to them in order to execute them correctly. So here it says specify the first point. I'm going to pick a place at random here in model space. So I'm going to click it once, let go, and then I can drag it any which way that I want and create that line. The line command continues until I hit escape. You can get out of any command in AutoCAD by pressing the escape key on the keyboard. So there I have a couple of lines drawn. Let's say that I want to delete some of those lines. I can click on it. I can click on the erase button up here at the top. I can right click and select erase, or I can select delete on the keyboard. Any of those will do the same thing. So let me erase all of these. So I'm going to select the line command, click a point and drag out. And as I do that, you'll notice that there are a couple of pieces of information. The first being length, shown there in the blue highlighted text. And the other one, just above my crosshairs, is the angle. And I can adjust both of those. So the first one is my length. So let's say that I want something that's 26 inches long. So I'm going to type 26 inches. And instead of hitting enter, so if I hit enter right now, that will make a line 26 inches. But I want to set the angle to 20 degrees. So I'm going to do it again. So click a point, drag it out. I want it to be 26 inches. But instead of hitting enter or clicking on my mouse, I'm going to press the tab key on the keyboard. That will tab me over to the angle. So I want to do 20 degrees. Now I can hit either enter or click. And that line is exactly 26 inches long at an angle of 20 degrees. And I can check my distance if I'm not sure. I can go to my measure tool, click distance, and select my endpoints here. And you see that it's 2'2", which is exactly what we typed in. And it also shows that it is 20 degrees. For this tutorial, I'm going to draw a bunch of different lines on the screen and show you how some of these different functions work. Let me draw one up here as well. The next function I want to show you is the trim command. Trim command allows us to trim a line that may be too long. So let's say that I want to trim this line right down here. So I have a line going this way and I want to trim this extra piece off. I'm going to select my trim command here at the top, and it says which objects are we working with. Well, I have to have two. I have to have the one that I want to trim and where I want to cut it. So I'm going to select that one as well. Now this is a two-part command. So to get into the next mode, I either need to press enter or right click on the mouse. Now it says, what do you want to trim? When I hover over it, it'll show me what it's going to delete. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to select that with my mouse button, and that is trimmed. I could also do this one. Notice the breakpoint is here because those are the two I've selected. It's not in between these two lines. So if I wanted it to be in between these two lines, go back to trim, select this one, and this one, and this one. Right click to change function, and then I can select that line and it will be erased. Underneath the trim tool, is a function called extend. Extend allows us to extend a line to another line. And the nuance with this is that it actually works a little bit backwards than you might think. The first thing we do is we select the line that we want to go to, and then we select the line that we wish to extend. In this case, I want to select this line. That's the one I want to go to. Change of function, so right click or enter, and then I'm going to hover over that line and extend that one to that line. So as a note, I wouldn't be able to extend this because I don't have anywhere to go and these two don't meet. The next command is the offset command. And that one is right here, and that's really handy when we're drawing things like walls. I'm going to select my offset, and it says, what is the distance? So let's say that I want to draw a line that is parallel to this one, and I want it to be 6 inches away. So the first thing it wants to know is, what is the distance? So I'm going to say 6 inches, enter, and then select the object. It's this object. And depending on which side I put my mouse on, will be the side that it places that new line that is going to be perfectly parallel to the original line. I'm going to select the top here and click it, and that now is exactly 6 inches from the other one. Let's do that one more time. Let's do this line right here. So offset, I'm going to make that 2 inches. I'm going to select this line and go on this side. And my recommendation is to always be a bit dramatic. If you go too close, it sometimes jumps around on you, but if you're more dramatic, it'll put it in the right spot all the time. The next command is the circle command. So found up here at the top. And I'm going to click this drop down. You notice there are 6 ways to draw a circle. So I'm going to select the first one, center radius. So where is my center point? So I'm going to put it right here on the end. I'm going to use that snap. So I'm going to select that, and without holding the mouse button down, I'm going to pull away, and I can type in my dimensions. So let's say that I want it to be 3 inches. Remember, that's radius, and gives me a circle. Diameter works the same way. So select diameter, select that point. I'm going to type in 3 inches as well, but as expected, it's half the size because it's diameter instead of radius. So let's say that I want to trim this line out of the circles. I'm going to go to my trim command, I'm going to select, right click to change function, and select the one I want to delete, and then press escape to get out of the command. The next command is the move command, found up here at the top. I'm going to select move, and it says what objects do I want to move. And so let's say that I want to move this line down to the end of this other line. Again, this is a 2-part command, so I want to either right click or hit enter on the keyboard. So it asks, what is the base point, or where am I moving it from? So I want to select here, and then where do I want to go with it? I want to put it right here on the end. It's just that easy. So let's move another one. I'm going to click move, and I want to move this one, right click, and I'm going to put that point right there, and now they're moved. If at any time I'm not quite sure what my dimension is, I can do a couple of different things. One of the easiest things is to click the measure tool, and I could check my radius or distance. So let me check the radius. I'm going to click that one, and I'm going to select that circle, and it gives me the radius and the diameter. I can check the distance, and that will give me the distance of that line. Again, just a really handy feature. The other thing I can do is I can actually double click on it, and a box will come up that shows what layer it's on, the line type, and my length. Part 2 will cover some additional commands that you'll need in order to draw two-dimensional architectural drawings.